Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. So today we're focusing on the Master League Premier Cup. We actually haven't seen this format in a really long time, and the last time I really played it, the most dominant Pokemon was probably going to be Metagross. Since then, there was a bit of a rise in Outrage becoming one of the dominant Pokemon, which actually pushed the Metagross down, as well as Gyarados being able to beat Metagross pretty easily. That also pushed the Metagross down as well. Generally speaking, I don't do a lot of Master League because I don't have a lot of hundos, but I felt that, hey, why not, right? So my Master League team has a little bit of the old, little bit of the new. I'm running a Mamoswine in the lead, Gyarados as a safe swap, and Machamp as a closer. I think the team works out okay primarily because both Gyarados as well as Machamp run really good safe swap positions. They take out a lot of the key players like Snorlax as well as Outrage, and it has okay play against things like Dragonite. Ironically, I picked actually both of those two Pokemon specifically to take out things like Metagross. I think the key tech in this team is running Gyarados with Waterfall and Outrage with Aqua instead of Dragon Breath and Crunch. I know the recommended build is to run Dragon Breath, but I found that Dragon Breath was super bad against Fairy types, and I felt that Fairy types were really common, with Floor just coming out and just Togekiss Charm being extremely effective against a lot of the meta. Additionally, Waterfall is super effective against things like Outrage and does neutral damage against Metagross. Let's go straight to the first battle. So the first battle was against Togekiss. That's an okay lead. Togekiss Charm damage is just really heavy. They brought out a Gyarados, which is not great for my Mamoswine, so you wouldn't respond with your Gyarados. Most Gyarados run Waterfall, Aqua Tail, Crunch. I'm using Outrage for two reasons. The first reason is I want to be able to take out things like opposing Dragonites or, Garchomps, but on top of that, it does a lot of hefty neutral damage against things like Gyarados, which will help you win the mirror. After landing Outrage, my opponent's now in a really rough position where they're going to lose the switch. They're going to respond with Togekiss, but I'm going to respond back with my Mamoswine, because Machamp really doesn't want to see Togekiss. At the moment, they are switch locked, so they have to stay in here. They decided to let their Togekiss go, which I think is a bad call, but they had no way of knowing what I had in the back. And on top of that, I'm pretty sure that Swampert has a good matchup against Mamoswine. With their final Pokemon being Swampert, I know that my Shadow Machamp can take one Hydro Cannon without going down. So I want to make sure that I keep this Avalanche in play and force him to throw a second move before I get to my second move. Because of the neutral damage from Powder Snow, the Swampert is now low enough for me to basically counter down it with about one Cross Chop. One of the reasons why I like Shadow Machamp so much is because the counter damage that it has is so oppressive. It's so attack weighted that things like Cross Chop, even though not very energy efficient, still do enough damage to award a block. Now, one key thing I did here was I wanted to make sure that I got to 2 Cross Chops before I threw. And the reason is because I wanted to make sure that I did not get put in a position where they snuck in a move and would be able to get a charge move off before I got my second charge move off. And there goes game 1. In game 2, we were met with another Togekiss, so we're going to play this really similarly as the last round. They're going to switch into a Extra, which is actually a little different. Extra is just so damage weighted as well that you have to really worry about a lot of its moves for almost all major players in the game. Rock Slide does super effective damage to Flyers, Drill Run does super effective damage to Steel types. So what my strategy here was to basically try to farm it down. In retrospect, I should have maybe thrown a charge move beforehand because I can't get 2 charge moves off on this Togekiss. But the reason why I did that was because I wanted to make sure I got at least 1 Rock Slide off on the Togekiss, meaning that I can take it out within 2 Avalanches. That being said, they surprisingly took the Rock Slide to the face, which I wasn't really expecting. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm actually going to try to farm it down, but they bring out a Haxorus. I don't see a lot of Haxorus out there. I know that the counter damage is going to do a lot of damage to my Mamoswine, so I want to actually switch out as soon as possible and bring out my Gyarados, but I stay in there for some reason. I think if I were to play this again, I probably would have actually saved my Mamoswine there, got off an Avalanche, and then switched into my Gyarados to get an Outrage off. That being said, I have to be very careful here because I can actually take these Dragon Claws pretty easily, and the Night Slash just do neutral damage. Either way, I'm not like super worried about it. I'm not gonna go for Outrage here because I know that my Aqua Tails do enough damage to put enough for a threat, and it'd be a bit of a waste for them to block something like an Outrage insertion like this. So I know this Haxorus is energy dry, meaning that I can get 3 Waterfalls in before I have to Aqua Tail. If I do this, I can get the most amount of energy as well as damage in before I have to go against the Togekiss coming out. This Aqua Tail should KO. The Togekiss is going to come back out, and we're actually going to simul KO here, unfortunately. This is where I realized that I had not put on my best buddy Gyarados for these matches. If I had a best buddy Gyarados, I probably would have won that matchup. So in game 4, we're going to see an Empoleon. I've never seen an Empoleon in the Master League. That's a hard counter to my Mamoswine, if there's ever been one. So I bring out my Safe Swap Gyarados, and they respond with their Gyarados with Dragon Breath. So Gyarados with Dragon Breath definitely does beat Gyarados with Waterfall. I'm gonna go for the Outrage to try to get a shield or take it out, but they block it. At this point, I'm okay with letting my Gyarados go down. This should be a crunch if they're trying to take me out, but I think they're gonna go for an Aqua Tail here. Yeah, it's just an Aqua Tail. I don't need to block that even. They're trying to actually get extra energy to go against my Mamoswine in a second. I'm gonna Aqua Tail for a chip damage because I can't get to an Outrage in a situation like this. So now we're in a really tough spot. Mamoswine can only take so many Aqua Tails before it gets knocked out, and I don't think I can get to an Avalanche before it can get to 3 Aqua Tails here. So at this point, what I'm doing is that I'm just committing to the farm down. I'm hoping that I can beat whatever's in the back with either Mamoswine or my Machamp. I know the Bulldoze will just about one-hit the Empoleon, so if I can just get enough damage in here and then bring in my Machamp afterward, I feel I might be in an okay position. Now they're going to return with the Empoleon here, and I'm just going to throw my Bulldoze right away to hopefully get a shield. Maybe get some extra damage in there right now as well. Almost a one-hit KO. Gonna bring in my Champ and go ahead and farm it down, but they switch into their Garchomp. Now Garchomp is a Pokemon I just really don't want to see at the moment, but it is what it is. I'm gonna really hope that I can get a lot of neutral damage here and take it out eventually. They can actually go ahead and go for a Sand Tomb and then knock out my Machamp right away pretty easily. I gotta say, I didn't really expect to get a hard counter that much by the Empoleon, but it is what it is, right? Sometimes that's how the league goes. So in game 4, we go against a super hard counter on their side. I'm able to take that pretty easily. They bring out their Snorlax, so I respond with my Snorlax counter, which is just going to be my Machamp. At this point, when you get a double counter like that, that's the most you can possibly ask for. For future reference, Machamp can actually take 1 charge move. What you should do is that you should actually take the first charge move and then go ahead and get to the second cross up, and then cross up before they bring out their second charge move. With Snorlax down, they're probably going to bring out their Garchomp back out, at which point you're just going to be throwing out your crotch as quickly as possible here. Now you would have noticed that I did 4 counters before I did a cross up. That was once again to secure the move and to make sure they cannot sneak a Dragon Tail in, because that'd be really bad. Once again, although these crosses aren't particularly energy efficient, they do enough neutral damage because it is coming from a Shadow Machamp to pose a threat. Now the reason why I switched out there was because I wanted to see if I could snipe down the Garchomp, but on top of that, I wasn't sure what would be in the back. If it was a extra, for example, I wanted to make sure that I saved my Machamp to try to counter it down afterward. The fact that it was a Gyarados, it's not great for me, but it's not the worst case scenario. I can actually go ahead and block this Aqua Tail and go ahead and focus on getting this Avalanche in, because at this point, they're gonna block the Avalanches, which is great for me. Powder Snow does decent neutral damage, that's okay as well. Now we're at a point where the Gyarados has no shields, meaning that all I need to do here is I need to land an Outrage on it. The one thing I need to be careful of is I want to make sure I don't get caught in a sack swap. or I don't want them to switch out into the Garchomp and throw a charge move as well. So these are two things I need to be careful of. I actually throw an Aqua Tail here in hopes that they try to sack swap, because I know for a fact if I throw a Waterfall against the Garchomp, it can actually throw a charge with Admin, which is going to be really bad for me. Additionally, Aqua Tails do enough damage to put a threat against the Gyarados, and they have to throw a Cruncher to try to take me out. If they take out my Gyarados, my Machamp should be just strong enough to be able to counter them down. Down goes Gyarados, in comes my Machamp, and just like that, I counter down. There goes game 4. So in game 5, I go against another Garchomp in the lead, which is once again great for me. They're gonna switch out of it and go into their Snorlax, so I respond with my Machamp. I'm not sure why this team is so popular actually. I know that Snorlax itself is just a great safe swap, but honestly, I'm not sure how I feel about Garchomp being a big hot pick in this format, especially Dragon Tail Garchomp. And there's one thing I really learned about this team. For the most part, I think that Mamoswine is just a good pick because it's really effective against things like Dragonite, Garchomp, Togekiss. Just because I had it in my team, I was able to win a lot of matchups just because I was winning the lead. Both Machamp as well as Gyarados are really strong neutral Pokemon. They do neutral damage against pretty much almost the entire format, except for things like apparently Empoleon. That being said, because they have such high damage fast moves and such low costing energy moves, they become really big threats. A lot of what this team featured today is just understanding how the meta kind of works. You know, the fact that I saw that there was a lot of Pokemon that might be weak to Mamoswine made Mamoswine really good. I'm guessing the Empoleon player that I went against happened to go against a lot of ice types for some reason, and that's why they chose Empoleon. Gyarados is just a really good top meta Pokemon. When you're running Waterfall in it, it just really helps out in matchups like the extra matchups, but on top of it, it's really against things like Gyarados, things like Togekiss, other fairy types. The trade-off that you lose though is that you don't have any effective moves against like dragon types. So what you want to do is that you have something to kind of counterbalance that. You can use a Togekiss. I decided to use Mamoswine. I think that overall, what you're seeing here is just a really good anti-meta team, which is why I chose it in the first place. Overall, in this specific run, I went 3-1-1, but overall with the team, I went 7-2-1. So I went 4-1 in the first set that I did. The second set, obviously over here, won 3, lost 1, tied the last round. If you happen to have the Pokemon, I recommend trying it out. It is super solid against the meta as of right now. The most common Pokemon I saw there was going to be Garchomp, but that was probably due to the community that came out, I think it was last year. On top of that, Togekiss is really popular in general because it's really good against the dragons and fighter types. So you're going to see a lot of Togekisses out there still. And Snorlax just a really solid safe swap. I think that Snorlax, throughout all formats, including Master League, including Ultra League, Great League, it's always been one of the key players of being a great safe swap because it does such high neutral damage to most things that it has so many opportunities to kind of move around. The one thing I like about this team is that it responds really well to that overall meta. Anyhow, I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, go and give me a like, subscribe if you want to see more of this type of content, and let me know in the comments if there's any specific team that you want to see in a specific cup. I'd be more than happy to see what you need to make happen.